So if you study some of the greats, you will see a pattern that they are described by the people closest to them as extremely focused people. There's a famous clip that I love of Johnny Ive, who was the head of design at Apple, how he would say Steve was just the most relentlessly focused individual he'd ever met. The same with Warren Buffett. His superpower was focus. And so in this video, I've got a number of things to the side here that I'm gonna present to you that are things that I use in my life to massively improve and optimize my focus and productivity. I'm gonna take these glasses off because it's maybe a little bit rude, but it's a beautiful day here in London. Let me show you. Beautiful blue skies, Houses of Parliament in all its glory, Big Ben. And shout out to Iman and Amara, they just sent me a care package with these new Hills sunglasses. So a lot of people struggle with focus and productivity for a number of reasons. One, we have these devices which completely are filled with apps that are completely designed by very smart people to distract us. And ultimately, these dopamine machines, right? So the thing to understand with productivity and focus is you want to optimize and design your life to make being disciplined, being productive, being focused easy. And the first thing that I want to share with you guys is, this is the lowest hanging fruit, is I have an app on my phone called Opal. And what Opal does is it blocks me from using certain apps. So if I try to go on Instagram on my phone right now, it's blocked. And this kicks in at 11 p.m. in the evening because there is no reason for me to be on social media scrolling after 11 p.m. And then it deactivates 2 p.m. the next day. So until 2 p.m. today, I will not be able to access Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I don't use TikTok. What else is banned off that? And they're the main ones, to be honest. It allows me to be much more intentional with my phone use, especially in the mornings where you have the most amount of energy. I just wanted to interrupt this video to invite you to my next 2-day mastermind I'm hosting here at my home in London. These are 2 very intense, very transformational days where you're learning not just from me, but 5 and 6 other property entrepreneurs that are operating at the 7- and 8-figure level with their property businesses. I can fit 8 people around my dining room table, so it's very intimate, it's very intense. I take everyone for a beautiful dinner on the first night. It's a Friday and Saturday, and over the course of the 2 days, it's a full deep dive into how to really play a bigger game with your property business, how to raise capital from private investors, how to find these investors, how to structure the financing, how to build your brand and build an audience of people that know, like, and trust you, that presents so much more opportunity of being able to find investors and have more deals come your way, how to actually find high quality deals, how to analyze these deals, and how to really scale. We're going to take your psychology to the next level, and ultimately you're going to have a level of clarity and knowledge and skill sets and network coming away from this event, which are going to allow you to take a quantum leap forward in your property business. A lot of people say they were a different person leaving the event that when they arrived. And so if you want to find out more, the first link in the description of this video will be a link to me explaining the event in a bit more detail. And if it's something you'd like to explore, you can fill out a form and book in a call with myself where we can make a decision together if it's something you'd like to be a part of. Back to the video. And so then the second thing that I do is I use this little device called an Oura Ring. Now, this Oura Ring is a ring that sits on my finger that has a biometric scanner in, and essentially it tracks my sleep. I've been using this for over 5 years at this point. This December will be 6 years that I've been tracking my sleep. And I believe sleep is the foundation of productivity, of focus, of just being in a better physical state when you're awake. I won't go into a whole sleep masterclass right now, but really the main thing you want to optimize for is REM sleep. REM sleep is, there's 2 kinds of sleep phases. You have REM sleep and you have deep sleep. Deep sleep is predominantly for physical recovery. So if you've done, you've been working out a lot, you've been exercising a lot, your nervous system, your muscles have been really strained, then deep sleep is for that recovery. And then REM sleep is more for cognitive and cognition and emotional regulation. So if you find, you have a bad sleep or you're not getting much REM sleep, maybe because you've been drinking or you ate too late or whatever the reason is, there's a load of variables that go into sleep. Maybe I'll do a separate video. If you guys comment below if you think it'd be valuable to you, a separate video on everything I've done over the last 6 years to optimize my sleep. Because when I first started tracking my sleep was not great. I thought I was sleeping okay, but my REM sleep was low, my deep sleep was low, my timings was off. And so I've optimized a lot of things. I've worked with coaches to improve it. But if you don't have REM sleep, you'll find that you'll wake up that next day. Not only is it going to be hard for you to focus, your emotions going to be all over the place. Your anxiety is going to be kicking in. Whereas I find if I have over 2 hours of REM sleep, and if I have over 2.5 hours of REM sleep, I feel like I can see through walls. My ability to focus is great. My emotions are very regulated and I feel very calm, and I just have a much more productive day. And so the reason tracking your sleep is important is because there's this concept called Pearson's Law. I believe it's Pearson's Law. And Pearson's Law states that when you track something with data, that feedback loop means that it improves. Essentially, what you measure will improve. And so I've tested a whole different load of variables, and now I've developed the skill of being able to sleep well. I know what my timing should be, I know what variables affect my sleep more than others, etc., etc. And I think it's one of the most important things you can do. On the topic of sleep, the next thing that I do is I have what's called a Philips Lumi light alarm. That's Lumi, L-U-M-I. I think this is Lumi. It's a Philips light alarm. I'll link it in Amazon in the description below. And what this does is it replaces having an iPhone alarm wake you up with a crazy, whatever sounds. I've not woken up to an iPhone alarm in years, and I remember when I do, and I still hear the sounds now when like there's a use a timer feature, it triggers a stress response. Waking up to that sound, it's not a nice thing to wake up to. Whereas what a Lumi light alarm does is you set the time you want to wake up, and then 30 minutes before it starts to get brighter, and the light that it emits mimics sunrise. So it's a lot more natural waking experience. Now it will play a sound if you haven't woken up, and that sound is something like birds chirping or light piano music. It's not the crazy kind of stressful siren that you get on the phone. And for me to turn the alarm off, you have to tap the alarm, and I actually put my alarm on the other side of my room, so I actually have to get out of bed and tap it. And so this just means I wake up without that fucking horrible cortisol adrenaline release, and so much healthier way to wake up. And then really what's important is, for me, the morning before I start work, I want to do two things. I want to condition my mind and get my mind engaged, and then I also want to get into the right psychological state, and then I want to get into the right physiological state as well. So the things I do to do that is I immediately go have a shower. And I love cold showers, and I've learned to love cold showers. I love a cold plunge, but it's very hard to do cold plunges. In London, I don't have one in my home, and there's not really many facilities near me that offer them, so it just doesn't make sense. But I do a cold shower. Now I actually start with a hot shower, a normal shower, and whatever, wash myself. And then towards the end, I just do a cold shower. And if you've never done cold showers before, well, I'm sure most of you have, but the key is really to focus on your breath. So where I find actually the biggest benefit from cold shower is, you have this whole just rush of blood that goes through your body, but it's the breath work that comes with it. So I don't do too much breath work. Maybe a couple times a week I'll do like the Wim Hof breath work to just calm my mind and wake my body up if I feel like I need it. But the cold shower is very much to just, have this, I don't know what the hormone release is, the serotonin, the endorphin relief that comes with a cold shower. And you have to push past that first 30 seconds. So first 30 seconds, first 60 seconds, is a lot of big, deep breaths. You've got to control the breathing, get the oxygen into your lungs, get the oxygen into your blood. Oxygen is a life force that wakes you up. And then try and calm the body. And when I feel like, okay, I'm calm, body's used to the cold, then of course I'll start my day. And then when I'm doing this, I'm playing some kind of audio from my phone. So the video I uploaded before this was my favorite personal development sources. I'll be playing some Jim Rohn audio, I'll be playing some Tony Robbins audio, I'll be playing something else where it's probably stuff that I've heard 100 times before, but I'm reminding my mind, I'm priming my mind, I'm conditioning the mind. Just like you go to the gym and you do the same chest workout that you did the week before, you're just conditioning the body. You're doing the same with the mind. So I'm getting myself into a psychological state. Sometimes I talk to myself and really I want to get into like a state of certainty, where I remind myself who I am. I then also, I've got a couple other things I'm going to show you, but I'm a big believer in the importance of identity work, reminding yourself who you need to be, who you are, and the person you want to become. And so I have a Google Doc which has my compelling vision of the future. If you guys have seen my transformation process, have my goals, etc. But one thing there is like my, not so much affirmations, so I don't really do too much of these affirmations, but it's just some text on who I aspire to be. And by reading that every morning, it helps me prime myself of like, okay, this is who I'm becoming, this is who I am, this is how I want to show up in life today. And maybe, again, if you guys think it'd be valuable, happy to kind of share a framework for putting that together. You can really use AI to put together like an identity playbook to help you do the identity work you feel like you'd need to do as well. And then when it comes to actual supplementation, I take these supplements. So this is by a company called Bioniq, Bioniq. And I'm sure a lot of people take supplements, but the reality is most people are taking the wrong supplements or the wrong doses of supplements because everyone is different. And so the beautiful thing with Bioniq is this is a completely custom formula based on my blood work. So if I open it up, you might not be able to see, but it's kind of like, almost like fish pellets. And you just take 3 scoops, put it in some water, or you can blend it up and put it in a smoothie or something. And I get my blood work done every 3 months. So figure out exactly, where my hormones are or my other biomarkers are. And then you just upload that PDF to Bioniq and they send you out a custom formula which has all of the vitamins, minerals, etc. that you need with the right amounts based on your blood work, so you're fully optimized. And I think optimizing, especially hormones are so key for productivity and focus, especially as men, like testosterone levels. If your testosterone drops to the bottom of the range, then that's going to show up as you're going to feel less motivated, you're going to feel a bit lazy, you're going to struggle to wake up in the mornings. And whereas if your testosterone is optimized and towards the higher end of the natural range, then you are, like testosterone, the purpose of testosterone is to make effort feel good. You're going to want to wake up feeling good in the morning. You're going to want to do the work. Doing like effort and work is going to feel good. And so if you haven't done your blood work, definitely, like in London it's very easy to do. You can go to the Randox clinics and book yourself in for some blood tests, but there's kits that you can order online as well. I want to say Medichecks is one, where they send you a little box, and on that you do like a finger prick to get a blood sample, post it off back to Medichecks, and then they will send you your blood report. So you want to make sure your bloods are optimized as well, because if you feel like you're doing everything right, your diet is good, you've got supplements, but you still feel not quite there, it might be a hormone issue. And it's not just testosterone as well, there's all these other hormones that come into play. And then something else I do is, and these are like £10 on Amazon, but they're so good, is I have this desk timer, which you can't see, but on the screen there's a stopwatch. There we go. You guys can see. And it goes up to, 90 minutes or 100 minutes. And these are great for deep work blocks. So if I've got some tasks ahead, I will just set a timer to 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes. And there's just something about having this on the desk next to you that, for me, just shows, okay, I've just got 60 minutes to get this task done. And then between work blocks, I'll maybe set like a 5-minute, 10-minute timer. And the key with between work blocks is you don't want to do anything. So again, in my Google Doc that I look every single morning, I also have some life rules and principles that I live by. One of them is you want to protect your dopamine at all costs. Because if you are waking up in the morning, scrolling your phone, hammering your dopamine circuits, well then actually your ability to focus and do deep work is going to be completely diminished. So you've got to protect your dopamine at all costs. You've got to be like, create this fortress for your dopamine. And a mistake a lot of people make between work blocks is they'll have like the first hour of the day is productive, maybe the second hour of the day is productive. And then as they're between work blocks, they're scrolling YouTube, they are looking at Instagram or Twitter. getting this cheap dopamine, and then their ability to focus throughout the day completely diminishes. And so the key is with between work blocks, I set a 5-minute timer, and for that 5 minutes, I don't do anything. I don't listen to music, I don't go on my phone, I don't go on to other tabs and go on YouTube. I literally will either just pace around my apartment or wherever I'm working, thinking to myself, talking to myself. And what you find is you end up watching the counter going down as you want to start work again. Because a great way to overcome procrastination is you either tell yourself, I'm going to do this task, I'm going to do absolutely nothing. There's no in between. And when you do 5-10 minutes of absolutely nothing, you don't think, oh fuck, I'm just going to do the work anyway. So you got to be very cognizant of your dopamine levels and not hammering it throughout the day, because that is probably a reason that you just can't get the work done. I could speak for hours and hours on this topic, but there's some quick lifestyle design hacks. Get yourself one of these, get yourself a Lumi light alarm, get your blood work done, and jump on the Bionic and protect your dopamine at all costs. I'll see you guys on the next video.